Hello, it's Rich Wilson aboard Great American 4. And I remember from Bundy Globe 2008, I used to get emails from my friend Samantha Davies while we were at sea. And she would address them to the Great America. And then a week or so ago, I got an email from Nandor Fa, who referenced the same sort of idea, the Great American, capitalized in his email. And it struck me that perhaps people might think that we named this boat because I had some idea that I was a great American. And I'm an American, but that's an American sailor and so forth. But I wanted to give the history of that name, because I think it's interesting and it's useful to understand. Back in 1989, there was a trimaran named Great American that was sailed by George Kolesnikov and Steve Pettengill from New York to San Francisco, the Flying Cloud record from the clipper ship days around Cape Horn. They were able to break the Flying Cloud's record, and immediately thereafter we were able to acquire the boat for our first school program, where we would sail back from San Francisco to Boston, where there was another California Gold Rush era record set by Northern Light. We tried to break that record, and we would also then have a school program alongside it. And this was in the early days of Sights Alive. So we thought that that name was appropriate. It was grand. It was in the way of the names of clipper ships: Sovereign of the Seas, Flying Cloud, Lightning, the Great Republic, and so forth. They're grandiose names, majestic names, and so we thought it was a good name. Plus, we were going between two ports of the U.S., San Francisco to Boston, and we thought the school kids would like the name too. So anyway, we kept the name, and that turned into the Capsized Voyage, which, if you are unfamiliar, we encountered a storm, a tremendous storm off Cape Horn. The official wave height was 65 feet. We had 85 knots of wind. The boat was capsized on Thanksgiving Day of 1990, 400 miles west of Cape Horn. And then in an episode really unprecedented in sailing, the capsized trimaran, 60-foot trimaran, was rerighted by a wave an hour and a half later. And then 17 hours after that, the New Zealand Pacific, largest refrigerated container ship in the world, was able to find us through the search and rescue system and get us off the boat. That's a whole separate story that's quite remarkable. And our expert for this Sights Alive program for Bundy Globe 2016, Murray Lister, was chief mate aboard New Zealand Pacific. And I've been having nice Skype videos actually with him in the last few weeks. It's in New Zealand. So when we decided to go back and try it again in 1993 with a bigger school program, we went with a new trimaran, a different trimaran. It was the old trimaran Dupont Duran, Nigel Irons designed, Pascal Harold owned in France. And we named her Great American 2 in honor of that first boat that really saved our lives by not breaking up in those sea conditions, by her awesome, massive strength, even though she was turned upside down and then turned right side up again by a wave. And so that's then when we decided for the Bundy Globe, we were able to get Terry Dubois' boat, Solidaire, and we renamed her Great American 3. And then this boat was the old Mirabeau of Dubois, which was Great American 4, all in honor of that original boat. And the school kids do like the name. Certainly in the U.S. they have. Most of our programs have been U.S.-based. We did 2 other clipper ship records with Great American 2, that 50-foot trimaran. We did New York to Melbourne, Australian Gold Rush route, and we did Hong Kong to New York, which was the China tea trade route. And so the school kids were almost all in the U.S. for those programs. Now we have school kids all over the country, all over the world, in over 60 countries participating in the program, and we hope that they like the name too. But anyway, that's the derivation of the name of the boat. It's not me, it's that original boat that kept itself together in one piece while doing a double somersault on Cape Horn. So that's it, small remembrance there, a small explanation, the name of our boat.